and welcome back to Date with the Divas. We aspire to bring you quality and engaging content regarding hot topics, your favorite celebrities, fashion, and all that. Everything in this video is alleged and presented in the most biased and opinionated way. We want you, our loyal subscribers, to jump down in those comments and share your opinions. And if you haven't subscribed, what are you waiting for? Click that subscribe button and follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Date with the Divas and on Twitter as Date W the Divas. Now, let me introduce you to the Divas. Hey, Entrees, say hello.
Cheers.
I'm Joe, and we have Marnita.
Cheers.
And we have Ms. Lava.
What's up?
And we have Nicole.
Hello.
And we have Ms. Lavelle.
Ching ching.
And we have Michelle.
Hello.
And last but not least, we have Marilyn.
Hello.
Okay, everyone. Entrees, will you take us to our first topic?
Well, we've got three great topics tonight about the Met. We're going to talk about Queen Beyonce, and we're going to talk about our dear brother, Kanye West. But to get that party started, we're going to talk about what's happening with the Met Gala, the biggest event on the fashion calendar every year. We know it happens that first Monday in May, and it kicks off the Costume Institute's exhibit. It's a big party where invitees come by invitation from Anna Wintour only. And I believe she's the one who selects the theme each year.
Yes.
The
The
theme,
gatekeeper.
The one and the only.
the theme this year is none other than Karl Lagerfeld. Now, Karl was selected. He's only the third designer to be selected as a theme. And that's because he has spent 65 years of his life being an icon in fashion. He worked for Fendi, he worked for Balmain, he designed for Chloe, but most of us know him as the creative director for Chanel, which he did for 40 years. Now, a lot of people find the selection of Karl to be problematic. And the reason for that is he wasn't always a nice guy. He had some pretty controversial ideas.
Yes.
He was known to be fat phobic. He made comments like, no one wants to see curvy women. He defended fashion's obsession with thin women, calling fatness dangerous and very bad for the health. He dubbed Heidi Klum to be too heavy to walk the runways.
Heidi!
She didn't walk in Chanel shows, I guess. He was trying to compliment Adele once and called her a lovely singer, but a little too fat. He was really critical of the Me Too movement. He defended a French politician who was accused of sexual assaults and just said, oh, you know, men in politics get horny from all that power. He was known to say things like that. He was, even though he was homosexual, he was homophobic. He didn't support gay marriage, and he didn't think gay men should be raising children alone. So people are like, is this the guy that we want to be spending an evening celebrating? So Divas, what do you think? Should we be celebrating or honoring this fashion icon?
I don't know. You know, like you said, he is a fashion icon. I did not know about all the controversy surrounding him. So at first I thought like, yeah, perfect. I am interested to see how the crowd reacts, the crowd that comes. For example, if Lizzo comes, if Adele comes, these people that were deemed too fat to wear, you know, his designs, how are they going to show up on the red carpet and really show out? I would actually like to see that, to see them in some designs inspired by
the statements.
Style. Exactly. And
now,
if
you're
wearing his outfit.
If you were Lizzo, would you go to the Met on the Karl Lagerfeld night?
That's a good question.
I
Well,
actually don't think I would go. I'm
Well, but
sorry.
hold up though. This is a fundraiser,
Exactly.
right?
And they raised close to, I think, like billions of dollars. Like I think the last one, I can't remember in the quote in Christian
Like 12 million the
D's
last one,
article.
right?
Yeah, it was a significant amount of money. And the tickets
You
are
can
like
support,
$30,000.
you can support the cause
Support
and
and not
not
go.
show up.
Correct.
You can still support the cause and not show up.
Mm-hmm.
I
You
agree.
got that, Lavelle.
But
I
our
think if
support
I were
is,
Lizzo, I would show up in one of his designs.
thank you.
Just
That's
as a
exactly.
Right.
I agree with you, Nicole.
And I'd be looking forward to that. I'd be looking forward to seeing how it looks
Yeah.
on a plus
Like-
size woman.
Because isn't the whole thing about the Met Gala is whatever you're wearing, you're supposed to be creative. The theme is creativity, and it's not just about the individual. So maybe whatever they're wearing or the statement that they create with their fashion could say what is it that they feel with respect to Mr. Langerfeld.
I was shocked I didn't know the history behind like some of his controversial things. So I didn't know that he had models in blackface and yellow face
Right.
and things of that nature. So that kind of was, but then I thought to myself, like, one of the articles presented, and said something to the effect of like, why single him out and why are we doing him as opposed to like other people? So why don't we have like different type of either a theme, like what made him, as opposed to like a non-controversial one? Well, I guess per se, like Andre Talley, like what made him, like what's behind it? Is it the fact that he's going to bring in more money because of, his repertoire, because of his resume? Is he going to bring in that much more money? Like what was the buy-in for that particular choice?
Individual.
Well, I think for fashion girls, Chanel, the house of Chanel is the epitome.
Right.
And it's what everybody aspires to own, to wear. Chanel.
It's classic.
Right.
And he was the creative director for that house for 40 years. So, I mean, this man has made a huge contribution to the fashion world.
Right. And I mean, remember, this is a touchy subject, right? Because you have to think, playing devil's advocate regarding him. Can it be a celebration of just his fashion legacy? And can his comments maybe be excused as non-progressive thinking? The reason why I say this is because you have many fashion icons that are not squeaky clean. Like you have Coco Chanel, that not only she had a high-ranking Nazi lover, Hans Gunther
Yes.
von Dinklage,
Yeah, something like that.
right? And
Look
before
at you knowing your history, girl.
no, this is my looking up, but we're keeping that on the DL,
Well,
y'all.
this question comes up. This question comes up a lot. Can you separate
Exactly
the talent from the art from the artist?
I mean, he parallels a lot of things that are happening today with
Yeah,
somebody else
exactly.
is going to get to
Somebody else is
later,
coming Somebody else is coming up. I mean, it's the whole cancel culture.
Yeah.
Do you
Yeah.
write something away
Right.
because you find something they've said or done offensive?
No,
At
Andres,
what
I
point
agree
do you
with you on
cancel
that.
them?
I was gonna say, I agree with you that we should be able to separate the artists from what they've done. If you think about other artists such as, or entertainers, Bill Cosby. Cosby Show was amazing. I still watch the Cosby Show, but again, I don't agree with his actions that he did. And the same thing when you think about R. Kelly, he's a musical genius. Now he's not a very good man from being my personal opinion, the things that he has done, but yes, you can separate that. So yes, I think we could separate what he said from his fashion icon. He is a fashion icon.
Not to mention the fact that this culture of being acceptant towards people who are have different lifestyles, their figures. This is nouveau. This is avant-garde.
Yes.
So you're taking somebody's old boys club who's had this antiquated way of thinking. You can't, it's hard to teach your old dog new tricks that look, We have to
Yes.
be accepting of everybody. Everyone can look good in fashion.
Right. Michelle, I think you were going to say something.
Yeah, just to add to Marilyn's comment about separating the talent or the art from the artist. If it was a one-off, I can see, okay, everyone sometimes makes mistakes, or, like I said, yeah, makes a mistake. But this is a reoccurring thing for him, and not just in one topic with, women's bodies. He is offensive and mean in so many different aspects, right?
Right.
And to Marilyn's comment about Bill Cosby and R. Kelly, you're not going to have the SAG, people honoring Bill Cosby. They may honor the Cosby Show, but not
Right.
Bill Cosby. So it's okay to honor Chanel and be, like, strive to wear Chanel. I get it. But the man was not, he was just a mean-spirited, homophobic, body shaming person. And if our goal in society is to become more open and more inclusive, we can't put this man on a pedestal, which I feel that we are doing by dedicating the fashion's highest night or biggest night to showcase him. I get, like, Nicole and Marnita's stance of, like, okay, I would show up and wear his design and show him, and sort of make a statement like, you see, I am beautiful.
Right.
And I agree, Lizzo can be, is beautiful, and she's out there and she's proud of herself, and Adele and all. Heidi Klum. I mean, I don't know why people pick on Heidi Klum, like Trump picked on Heidi Klum. The lady is gorgeous. I just don't think that you have to, highlight the man.
I'll
It
give you a
just
quick
sends the
you.
wrong message.
Well, I think we should point out that he was not a registered convicted sex offender, like some of the people that are being mentioned. I think of Carl as like that uncle at Thanksgiving that says that stuff that's not very
Agreed.
nice, and you just laugh him off. That's all. But let us know how you feel. Jump down in the comments and let us know. Do you think Karl
Please.
Lagerfeld was a great choice as a theme, or should Anna have chosen someone else?
And let us know if you need more talk about this subject.
Or
Okay.
a
Do you think
retweet
that public
later.
pressure will change the outcome of what the Met Gala is going to look like, or she's just going to do what she's going to do?
Oh, Anna's gonna do what she's
think
gonna
she's gonna
do.
do what she's
Carl
gonna
was
do.
her friend.
Yeah.
That's happening. Okay. We will be celebrating Karl Lagerfeld the first Monday in May of 2023. I guarantee you. Okay, so moving on to another queen. We're gonna now talk about Beyonce, who stayed in trouble for people accusing her of using their music without their permission. So the latest accusations are coming from Right Said Fred, who you can see on the screen. For those of you not old enough to remember or to recall, Right Said Fred were a very popular duo in the 90s. They had a monster hit called I'm Too Sexy. And it's been sampled ever since. It's still a very popular song, and Beyonce used the music on her song Alien Superstar.
She didn't use the music, she used the composition.
The composition.
Composition of the music.
Yes.
Yes. On her Alien Superstar track, which is on her monster album of the summer, Renaissance. Now, Renaissance was released in July. We're now in October. And Right Said Fred recently came out annoyed that Miss B did not ask their permission to use their work on her song. So Beyonce never responds to things like this, but she came out and she had
Clap back.
scathing clap back, and Mama had the receipts. So she quote her. Permission was not only granted for its use, but they publicly spoke of their gratitude for being on the album, Beyonce said in the statement she issued Friday to E! News. Permission was asked of their publisher on May 11th, 2022, and the publisher approved the use on June 15th, 2022. They were paid for the usage in August 2022.
So you think they wanted an audience with the
Check.
queen bee?
Check.
That's exactly what I was gonna say, Lavelle. That's exactly it.
What were we gonna say? I didn't hear it.
Go
That
ahead,
they wanted
Lavelle
an
Lava.
audience.
An audience for
audience with the
Beyonce's song or
queen
for
bee.
their song?
They wanted the queen to bow down to them.
Well, yes, that's what I was going to go on to say. So Right Said Fred did have a reply to Beyonce's clapback. And they basically said that Beyonce did reach out to the publisher who owns the song, which is all she was obligated to do. Because as Miss Nicole said, it wasn't a sample. She interpolated, which means you re-record the composition using your own interpretation of the music. So in that case, all she had to do was reach out to the publisher. So Right Said Fred is saying she should have come to us. So to quote them, normally the artist approaches us, but Beyonce didn't because she is such an arrogant person. Their words, not mine. They were quoted as saying in the Sun 4 days ago.
Make it clear. Make it clear.
She just had probably thought, come and get me. So we heard about it after the fact when you did it, when you heard about it. But everyone else, Drake and Taylor Swift, who also interpolated the song into their work, they came to us. So Divas, was Beyonce obligated to personally reach out to Right Said
No.
Fred
No.
as Drake and
Is
Taylor
this-
Swift did?
Is the CEO of every company obligated to oversee every business transaction personally? I don't think so. So if they want to talk about someone being arrogant, they must be the people who are arrogant because they think they are so important that Beyonce personally should have come to them and asked, like she has nothing better to do.
I think what they're doing is a couple of things. It's like, okay, I think, like we said before, it's just, okay, is it respect? Are they saying she feels entitled, or is it the true thing is that your feelings are hurt because she didn't call you? Are we talking about like the fact that she didn't call you because what you feel entitled, the fact that she should call you, and then you say something to the effect like, oh, well, we can't fight them because, this is Jay-Z and Beyonce and they have a money. So you're going to play the entitled card and play the victim in the same aspect. But also I want to say I want to say that in an article, and I don't remember, I can't remember which article, but he said something like, normally we would, they would send us the demo, we would approve it, and we would get co-writing credit. And I'm like, they already got the credit. Did they want more money for it? So it becomes a matter of, is it more money in our pocket? Is that the reason why?
Or do you just
They
want
wanted to
attention right
approve.
now?
And made it clear that there are other writers that are credited on the
Yes.
song.
It's like
They
22.
have most of the ownership. They own more of the song than Beyonce herself does. I think they got
Right.
like 70%. They
Right.
came back and said, look, girl, you got 22 writers on that song. That's about $50 once we split the pie. So
Exactly.
Well, I mean, but okay, now again, I like to play this devil's advocate. Are they trying to be like, look, you Queen Bee, it's all good and dandy and stuff like
Respect
this.
your
but
elders.
Yes, respect me and just come and just say, hey, what's up? Hi, this song was mad hot, and look,
Who's
I wanna
arrogant
use
at
it.
this point?
That's what
Right.
I
That's
said.
the thing. That's the
I
question.
agree.
the one.
I
That
agree.
is the
But
question.
remember, you have certain people that start to think various ways. When you are, some people, when they're, it's always the elder is correct, no matter what, right? You have some, and
But
those that are
it's-
younger follow through.
it's the thing is she wasn't obligated to. She's not arrogant
Right.
because she didn't. You know,
Thank
your
you.
feelings are maybe hurt, or maybe you want some more attention
Thank
or
you.
whatever. Because one, she came with the receipts of yes, it was approved. Yes, they got the credit. Yes, they
Right.
got the check. And then two, what I think about, and I think about this with Beyonce a lot, like when she comes out with either like songs, we saw it with Khalees. There were some years back where she did an MTV performance at the MTV Video Music Awards or something like that. And everybody was like, well, she stole the set design from such and such. They're pointing fingers at Beyonce. There's a whole team behind her. There's creative directors, there's producers, there's all this. It's like all of that work goes into, you know, who makes the song and who makes the production. And so it's not her job as the artist to call that other
Wait,
person.
hold
But
on,
I mean,
on.
she could as a courtesy, but she didn't. So
Right. No, and I agree with you in the sense that what you said, Marnie, with this, you know, like, yeah, she's not obligated, you know, she gave you your money, she did what she had to do, what have you. But again, she is the brand, right? So you can't step behind your peoples and say, well, yeah, well, they were the ones that are supposed to do the checking and da da da. Because when Coca-Cola messes up, or when any, you know, I don't know, any other brand says, you know, you said Coca-Cola.
yeah, but that's not a
But Joe,
person.
she didn't mess up. Joe, that's the thing. I'm just saying
I'm not
she didn't.
saying she messed
She messed
up.
up. Yeah.
I'm not being
The
literal in
appearance,
the sense
the
of
appearance
mess up.
that she did something incorrect.
I
Right.
get it
Right.
that she's the face of the brand, but I feel like people are putting out to the public that she's this monster, you know.
Right.
But
Right. I don't think she's a
Marilyn, you gonna say
monster.
something?
I was
Marilyn,
just
you
gonna,
there?
yeah, I was gonna say, I mean, I understand that they would like to have her call and that they consider elders, but she followed the process, or her company followed the process they needed to do. She could have picked up the phone, but that doesn't make her arrogant, because
Right.
she did not. And I think that's where I take issue with that. And also for the fact, as Antrice mentioned, when her record album came out, that was early summer. We're in October. Why is it just now becoming an issue? Is it, again, are they trying to make themselves relevant? Are they trying to, you know, what's driving this now is kind of my thought process.
Mm-hmm.
Could I be
And-
remiss to say that maybe, like, you know, this group, I remember the song. I don't really recall any other song from that group except that song. But had it been the Queen, Aretha Franklin's song, Stevie Wonder's song, I think, or a David Foster song, that she would have been more apt to say future collaborations. People who are the old club of music that are continually working together. I don't know about right if they're in that category.
What's interesting
Precisely.
is that Khalees basically had the same issue. Like Khalees,
Right.
She didn't call me.
you're right. She didn't own that song. She wasn't supposed to get any credit for any money. That wasn't her issue. Her issue was Beyonce should have reached out to me and let me know before, as an artist to artist.
I agree. I think with Khalees, she was salty. She says that in essence, she was swindled out of the credit, the writing credit.
Yeah, that
Well,
was her issue with Pharrell.
I think that's her.
That
issue
was
with
her
Pharrell. So she's
with
doing two
Pharrell.
things.
Two things at the same time.
Right. Right.
And I think she felt that with Beyonce knowing how the industry is, how people tend to not be forthright,
Mhm.
that she should have, you know, kind of stood by her and say, you know what, let me ask for permission, because we know she did put some sort of effort into the song.
So then what makes a difference between her and, you know,
Bryce and
these
Fred.
gentlemen here? You know, it's, again, she did what she was supposed to do. Everything was done correctly. It just becomes the point
Personal
of,
opinion.
yeah, your personal opinion of, should I have gone to this individual and say, you know, hey, I'm going to use your song? And
You know, and I'm, I'm a big Mafia fan, and it's a matter of going to the boss and asking the boss for permission before you do something. So does that become the standard? Is there a standard of when you're going to do something, you're gonna, you're a soldier, do you go to the boss to ask for permission in order to do something? Or do you just go to the underboss before you go to the boss?
Like
So
if
it's
she
some sort of
was
She's the
etiquette.
boss. She's
Some
the
sort of
boss.
etiquette.
right.
She's the
Well, but
boss. She
see,
ain't
this is-
asking nobody.
But
She's
that
the
was
boss.
their point. That was
I
their
get it.
point.
And
I get it.
Beyonce sampled about 99 people on that record. So I don't know that Mama had the time to
Right. Sit there and call everybody.
make 99
Thank
phone
you.
calls.
And you might not answer because you don't recognize the number.
Right.
She,
I gotta
she
wait for white
opened up,
San Fran to
opened
call me
up the
back.
home, opened up the home and have an audience with her 99 people.
Next time she should have a Zoom meeting and put them all on screen. Like, I'm asking for
Like, listen, I'm
permission.
taking your music. I'm gonna sample your
Right.
stuff. Are you okay with it? I'm asking you permission.
All right, Divas. So we're gonna move on, but let us know, what do you guys think? Should Beyonce have reached out to Right Said Fred herself, given them a personal heads up, or did she do business the way she needed to? Let us know what you think in the comments. So Divas, we are moving on to our favorite topic. We're gonna talk about our beloved brother, Kanye West, who is I know we're tired of talking about Kanye, but he will not stop. So a lot has happened since we talked about him last week when he was wearing White Lives Matter shirts and going off on people who were critiquing his fashion show. Since then, he has gotten into some more trouble. It started with Diddy reached out to him and tried to reason with him about the t-shirts. He posted screenshots of conversations he was having with Diddy where he accused Sean Combs of working for Jewish people, being sent by Jewish people to influence him. And he was going to make an example of Diddy by showing Jews that, nobody could influence him. So Instagram has locked him out of his account. So then he went to Twitter, where he wasn't even on Twitter because of his issues with Twitter in the past, but he made a return to Twitter to tweet he was sleepy that night, but in the morning when he, woke up, he was going to go DEF CON. He called it DEF CON, but I think what he meant to write was DEF CON, which is a military term. DEF CON 3 on all Jewish people. So he got locked out of his Twitter account. So at this moment, he's now restricted from Instagram and Twitter. So he took the show to YouTube and he posted a 30-minute video, which had all kinds of wild things in it. One of the wildest to me was him sitting down with the Adidas executives and in trying to make a point about how they were making him feel, he forced two of the executives to watch a porn. And the executives were clearly very uncomfortable, but to Diddy, this was, business as usual. To Kanye, this was business as usual. And he posted this on YouTube. And just as an FYI, he is trying to be your president in 2024. He has made a soft announcement with his intention to run again. My question to you is it time to treat him like Donald Trump and just permanently ban him from social media? Like, is he in the mind frame to be able to have a platform that big?
Probably not. I mean, the individual social media platforms can ban him. He'll probably find another way to get his message out there, as Donald Trump did. I think Donald Trump started like his own social media with some other people or something. Not that I
With about
really do
55
it.
followers.
Yeah.
Right.
But I think that social media, these platforms, I've seen a lot of people being like, well, what about freedom of speech? Up in the comments and the different boards and things like that. But it's like, this is a business. And I don't know if y'all remember, you walk into a business sometimes and they had that sign, we reserve the right to refuse service to anyone.
Right.
They reserve the right. And it's just coincidentally that when he said he was going to go DEF CON on Jews, that's when they started taking, reserving their right to refuse him service.
It is interesting that that's what it took, but yes.
Mm-hmm.
Kanye says a lot of wild stuff.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Michael Rappaport, Remy. I'm going to refer to him as Remy because he's Remy. He went off on him on Instagram, basically I think he called him an idiot. And I think that's when I first learned about it, is through Instagram, when I saw that Michael Rappaport posted about it. And in my mind, I'm just like, again, like, just like we're talking about him again, are we making him relevant? But I'm kind of like over. Did I say over?
Mm-hmm.
You said over, Lava.
Yes, I think it's time we all
President
just ignore
banning
him.
somebody's Twitter and Instagram, is that an attack on free speech though? Like where
because you can speak it freely somewhere else.
I think you should not do hate speech and speech that could potentially put people at risk. And that's what I think that was. And I think they have the right to do that. And I think something else recently came out with, I believe, LeBron's show that he has. The shop. They're not going to have him. They're not going to air the episode because of the same thing. You don't want to promote that because people do read that and they take the wrong idea. And we point, like if we go back to Trump and the whole insurrection that happened of the tweets, people follow that similar kind of, if he's doing this hate, there are people who will follow that. And that's what I think they're trying to avoid by blocking him.
Words
also the representation is, that means that it represents my belief as well. But also I lost my train of thought, is that also the fact of when does
Black Hollywood go and get this boy and do an intervention? Like,
and Black Hollywood tired. They tired of him. They didn't try to get him some help. They tired.
You know how they rallied around Will Smith when he was beaten?
Right.
Like go to his house, get Bradley Cooper, get Denzel. Like,
it's sad because Kanye's just a big bully. He's a big bully because every time he posts something, then he comes after you. He keeps coming after you and saying, okay, well, you know what? I'm going to do this and I'm going to do this. And it's really, truly, truly sad. He needs
a hug, y'all.
Yeah, and I don't think you can compare him to Will Smith. I don't think you can compare him to Will Smith with the statement of that he did it one time. If we kind of look at that, this is Kanye's history pattern.
MO.
Yeah,
right,
so
Nicole.
I think our Black Hollywood have been trying to help him. They just tired now. They're like, boy, sit down or go check yourself in.
Yeah, we saw what happened when he was on TMZ spitting that speech. He was sitting on TMZ, and Van Lathan, confronted him, and he did kind of back down, or they seemed to come to some kind of agreement, or agree to disagree type thing. But I think it would take a lot. It would take like kidnapping him, throwing him in a chair.
Okay, let's not give any ideas. Michelle, you wanted to say something?
I was just going to agree with Marnita, and that we're not infringing upon his right to free speech. They're just exercising their right not to use, for him to use their platform. And I agree with that. I mean, you have the right to go out and scream at the top of your lungs or stand on your soapbox in the park. But you're not going to use their platform to reach, thousands or hundreds of thousands of people, and spread your hate. So I agree with that.
And I feel like it's now at this point, it's like a trickle down effect, because now Adidas is apparently like reconsidering, or what did they say? They're in talks about his contract. Then you have
partnership is in review.
Yeah, in review.
Good, right. Those are nicer words.
That's in review. And then the whole JP Morgan Chase thing, which, I'm trying to figure out if that is actual fact, if that's factual. TMZ said factual. I don't know, but
You want to tell us what was said?
okay. So apparently, was it Candace Owens?
Candace Owens, yeah.
Yeah, Candace Owens basically came out with, information that apparently JP Morgan Chase advised him that they gave him a certain amount of time in which for him to reallocate his funds to another bank that they were no longer
Take his
going
business
to
elsewhere.
take his business elsewhere. So she posted something online from JP Morgan Chase, but the signature was just JP Morgan Chase. And so again, TMZ is reporting this as well. In my mind, and you guys tell me if you agree, and looking at some of the things on the internet, like, he's a big business. Most people have, a concierge or, specific person that they actually go to. And with JP Morgan, just basically sign it JP Morgan, as opposed to, a specific entity, a specific, individual, a specific department. So it just seems very, very generic. So I don't deny, I don't doubt that possibly, might have happened, but the validity of the
document, maybe.
the document itself, it just seemed kind of suspect.
And why does she have it?
Exactly.
Thank you. Who is she?
Because he doesn't have access to
He doesn't
Twitter,
have
Instagram, so she is reporting on behalf of him.
Go,
So you need to
Marilyn.
be careful because her platform
Here we go.
get shut down too.
Mhm. She's the only friend he has left, I guess.
Yeah, because Tucker Carlson, I think, is backing away.
Back it up.
Back it up.
Back it up.
What is it? I got your back. Way back.
Way back.
Way back.
Back here. Well, Divas, we have run out of time.
Aw.
But let's keep the conversation going in the comments.
Let us know what you think. Is it time to turn Kanye down, or should we, let everybody say whatever they want on Instagram and Twitter? Let us know. And if you enjoyed this video, give us a like.
Please.
Enjoy the conversation, subscribe so that you can keep your date with the Divas. We're going to be uploading once a week. So like, comment, subscribe, let the Divas know you stopped by and paid us a visit.
All right.
All
Have
right.
a great one, everybody.
Have a good one.
Bye.
Bye.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers.